Well, originally I did, my original degree was in agriculture at Newcastle University. After that went into biology and PE teaching. Had immediately after teacher training, teaching practice, while working in outdoor education, mainly in North Wales, and then eventually came back into teaching in Sunderland and Gateshead in the 1980s. A series of supply jobs in the Scottish borders, and then eventually full-time with East Lothian like I am now. It's very much something that I've become very aware of, and I've always had an interest in the environment and environmental work. And obviously climate change is a crucial aspect of that, and obviously it's become more and more topical, as concerns grow, but also the problems grow. So it's become something that I've become very personally engaged with. And in the course of my work at school as a biology teacher especially, been quite focused on the environmental aspects. And a couple of years back, a little before the COVID outbreak, did a teacher leadership program study on learning for sustainability and how it was perceived within the school. And obviously climate change was a key part of that, and it became apparent we were doing lots of different aspects of it around the school, but it wasn't integrated and tied together. And the Fuel Change project has been very useful in providing a central focus to sort of bring together a lot of the work that we've been doing, and also encourage other work, sort of on a kind of coordinated, integrated basis kind of across the school. It's variable, some are very much invested, particularly if they've picked it up at primary school or through family background, and some of them have really got a mission, and will tell you so. Others, there is an aspect of sort of either doesn't affect me personally, irrelevant and so on, or heard it all before, yeah, nothing we can do about it. And it's a case of breaking those two sort of negative aspects. Is part of where Fuel Change has been helpful, with the sort of the new initiative and core materials that have provided a central focus that will make sure there's some sort of provision across the board, that all pupils get the valid information on the debate and are able to make informed contributions to the debate, from a standpoint of understanding, rather than sound bites they may have picked up one way or the other on the media. It was a really interesting opportunity. I was in the process of developing certificate courses to National 5, National 4 and National 5 initially, now higher, in environmental science for the SQA, introducing that in the school. So when the approach from Fuel Change came, that tied in very well, and our head teacher, Mr. Clark, was very, very supportive and was looking for volunteers to engage with it. If something I felt tied in very well with the work previously I'd done on teacher leadership program on learning for sustainability and trying to push that forward, but also with the curriculum development I was doing in environmental science and trying to raise awareness of environmental issues across the school. And it provided a good sort of, what was very general and quite diffuse, provided quite a strong focus for that. So it was an initiative I was very happy to engage with, along with Lisa Mitchell, who's doing the Challenge programme. S1, it's largely about awareness raising. Many of the children have come across some ideas from primary school, but it was a case of build on that, establish what they already knew, clear up one or two misconceptions. And with S1 predominantly, we were looking to raise awareness of the issue, make them aware of the problem and its seriousness, but also possible solutions, try and negate ideas that it was something that was purely depressing and there was no answer to. I was saying that was one common response, but also show that this was something which could open up opportunities. So we were looking at S1 really, I'd say, just to sort of introduce the concept and the problem and possible lines of solution, which would lead into the further work in S2, S3 and especially S4, where we'd look more at project work around solutions and developing possible kind of career opportunities in that area. I would hope that, well, the whole programme, not just the S1 part that I personally contributed to, has moved climate change and awareness of it and wider environmental issues as well, such as biodiversity loss and mass extinction, much more firmly into the mainstream or something, not just something that happens to have got mentioned once in a biology or geography lesson or that they talked about in social studies and guidance, but something which was central to their awareness of some of the problems facing the world, and that more, possibly apparently more pressing problems, such as the current economic crisis, come and go, but that underlying it all is a global emergency that needs to be sort of addressed. And of course, a lot of the solutions tend to be more long term, but also if they're not taken up, that we're going to be facing much greater crises in the future. And some of these are becoming apparent with some of the extreme weather events and the like that we're beginning to see now. But I would hope that the legacy of the climate change, of the Fuel Change programme on climate change, would be bringing that to a much more central part of the broad education of our young people, that they become aware of this as something which is both an opportunity, but something as well as a problem that needs to be tackled.